Additionally, Marvin Lubitz argued that back in 2005, the association received $35,000 key money for signing a contract, and for this renewal, the highest amount offered is $23,000. Agenda item was tabled until answers are provided to the board in order to make a decision. Second agenda item was voting on engineering company for the 40 years recertification. Marvin Lubitz advised that the board received 5 proposals after interviewing 5 engineering companies. Daniel Epstein named the 2 companies that the board was considering for this project, to name Epic Forensics and the Falcon Group as the 2 engineering companies that would best serve the community. Mariano Mago explained that both proposals were similar in nature. However, Epic Forensics also provided a qualified inspector who can prepare the structural compliance data to the city, as well as on-site inspector, which would potentially save the association money on the project. Mariano also explained the various disadvantages of the 3 companies, which included S&D Engineering, Villa Reinhardt, and MV Todd. Daniel Epstein made a motion to approve Epic Forensics, seconded by Alexandra Kazmierski. All were in favor. Adjournment. Marvin Lubitz made a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:10 p.m., seconded by Alexandra Kazmierski. All were in favor. This document will be signed tomorrow by Regina as the secretary. Okay.
So I made the motion to approve the minutes. I second. Who's in favor?
I second the motion.
Okay,
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
Yes,
I'm in favor, aye.
Guillermo.
yes, Regina is in favor, yes.
Guillermo is in favor.
Okay.
Sorry with my phone, it's something wrong, you know.
You're wrong. You're completely wrong.
Okay, so the last minutes are approved. So,
New business.
yeah, new business. Approval of replacement of 2
He's done.
compressors.
Let him manage it. Let him manage it.
No, he's done. Okay, he's done.
Let's
He's
go.
done.
That's it.
He's done. That's it. That's the beginning. That's it. The rest of it is
Yeah.
managed by the board, the property manager. That's it. Okay.
Who decides? Who decides?
Guillermo. Marvin is not online, not connected.
So the first item in agenda is approval of replacement of the 2 compressors in Tower 1.
Right. Would you like to speak a little bit on that?
Yes.
As everybody knows, we had the replacement of the coils in both towers. This was a tiring process that started shortly after the board was elected back in March. This was one of the first things that the board actually voted on. Unfortunately, we were without AC on and off, and sometimes for longer periods of time until today, basically in Tower 1 at least. The reasons for that are pretty much a mix of reasons. Company claimed they never received from us the signed proposal the first time around. Then came COVID, where they lost 80% of their employees. Then came waiting for the part that was on delay. Eventually, we received the coils, and the coils were installed in both towers. At the time, we also ordered 2 compressors that were bad in Tower 2. Those 2 compressors arrived and were installed. Once they started the work in Tower 1 on the coils, all 3 compressors were working at the time. One of the 3 compressors started acting up. Normally, we don't run and replace it right away. Company is able to fix it by taking care of the leak, if there's a leak. If there's a need to replace a part, just like we have one in Tower 2, where the board on the compressor went bad. It's an obsolete part, so it's very, very hard to find it. And we're still waiting for that part to arrive, so we don't have to go ahead and purchase a whole new compressor. But in Tower 1, we had a leak on one of the compressors, and eventually the company told me that they were not going to be able to fix it. I brought another company in here just to confirm that, so I know that I'm told the truth on this. Shortly after that, maybe less than 2 weeks after, we lost another compressor, and right now we're operating on 1 compressor in Tower 1. So we received 4 proposals from 4 companies for the replacement of the compressors, and the board will can discuss and vote on this today.
Okay. So the lowest price is A and B, the one that had a lot of problems.
That is correct, and I would, as a property manager, even though it's the lowest price, advise against them for two reasons. The stories, the excuses, they've been going on for months, and the only reason that we stayed with them, it's because they were already in the process and involved with the coils. That in addition to the fact that with them, it's gonna take probably up to 6-7 weeks before it can get done.
And the other ones,
You have over there,
wheat and what else?
you have air around the clock,
Mhm.
which came up at, I believe, $3,000 more or $2,500 more. They guaranteed the job done, installed within 7 to 10 days. York, company that provided services to our property before, came at very similar price, but they're not giving us a warranty. I mean, no warranty.
Yes.
They're charging us extra for the, I'm sorry, for the refrigerator.
And what the others are?
The other company is way out of, yep.
But regarding the Freon,
That includes the refrigerant. Air around the clock includes the refrigerant.
No, I want to ask one more question. AP. Whenever they finish the out,
We're still waiting for the board and for the compressor in tower 3, in tower 2.
town one, we have all the board.
Yeah, everything over there, we have one working compressor, they're done over there.
Assume tomorrow they come and bringing the two compressors.
Okay,
We have all working board over there,
yes,
all working board over there. The
yes.
board is all working,
The board on the compressors that died,
yes,
I don't have an answer for that.
so.
And you cannot switch the
That
board.
is not my point. If they're working, we put in tomorrow the two compressors, when we find out we need board for there too. Because to me, we have some risk over there because the board start to blow out since we put the new compressor.
No, that happened only with, no, Danny.
No.
The two compressors,
Okay. No, I'm talking about the board.
Danny, the two compressor in tower 1, the board did not go bad. Board went bad only on one compressor in tower 3.
Or two.
Tower 2,
Okay, tower two, we're waiting for the board from.
for that third compressor. Right.
And if we go, we fell around the clock.
Okay,
We find we need a board. How soon they can get us the board?
if we need a board for what?
A board for the compressor, something that can, for the controllers.
I don't have an answer for that.
I mean, we can put the compressor, you understand what I'm saying? We can put the.
Danny, I'm
compressor.
sorry to tell you this, okay? The problem that we have right now
Okay,
is the replacement of the two compressors. You're talking about a problem in the future. If that, hold on, Danny, if that happens, I will call companies. I don't have to stick to one company. Hi, I need a board for a compressor. How long does it take you to get one? The one that will get us to us at the shortest periods of time and the price will be reasonable, we can go with them. One thing has nothing to do with the job that needs to be done right now. The two compressors that need to be replaced. Is the board gonna go up? This board in tower 2, on a third compressor, none of them lost the board in over 15 years. This is the first time that the board is changed, according to the engineer, on any of the compressors.
okay.
And it's not any advantage in changing the boards when you're changing the compressor. It's something that you can do.
It comes with the compressor. The board is part of the compressor. It
Yeah,
comes
but
with it.
there's a board, if the board is coming with the compressor and we change over there, two compressors already,
Mhm.
so why we have a problem with the boat? If it's coming with a new one?
Because of the compressor that we didn't replace.
The components are different. So you can have a good compressor and a bad board, and vice versa.
Correct.
Correct, but what I am hearing now, the compressor coming with a boat.
Right.
Right,
And that's
So-
warranty, that's warranty.
right.
I'm not contradicting you, my understanding is it's two different components.
If they're coming from the boat and we put over there new ones, so why we have a problem there?
Because the third one is still an old compressor. That we replaced two compressors.
Yeah.
Over there two is working right now.
Yes, and the third one is the one that the board went bad, not the compressor, just the board.
So
So we're waiting for the board.
basically what we're saying right now. And I'm not trying to put nobody to the corner. Those compressors coming with new bolts,
Correct, the new ones,
coming with new bolts, so we don't have a problem.
of course.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure, so we're not going to be surprised. Later on, we have the compressor, we will not have the bolt, we have a problem with the
They
bolt.
could not operate without it.
Okay,
So after
Okay.
replacing this, we are going to have,
Three working
Four
compressors
yeah,
in
two and
tower
two.
one, three working compressors
yeah,
in tower
but
one.
two new in each
Two new in each tower, correct,
and one old.
correct, correct.
yes, I understand, but
No, I'm saying,
I understand exactly what's going on. This problem is nothing to do with us, nothing to do with Woody, nothing to do, we earn it. I sit in some place and try to get something. And the reason I couldn't get something, they give me a reason, this building didn't have right air conditioning for the last 2.5 years. And the moment I came to the board, right away, first thing we did is the problem with the AC. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear after this.
but it looks like we are in the same, in the good path. So tower one is going to be in the same good situation that we are now in tower two.
Now, we enter into the holiday. So in 30 days, this can be done.
Well, according to their proposal,
Yeah, how much downtime?
okay, they did not discuss holiday, but they said that this job can get done. It's a 2-day job, and it's up to a week to receive the proposals. I mean, the compressors, sorry.
Okay, I want
So
to
it's
add,
two-
I want to add to this. To these things have to be done by January 15th.
So this is 2 days down only, expecting.
2 days down, correct.
If that's what you're telling me, I want to add to this contract, and if everybody agree, we listen to this vice president and everything. I want to add to this contract. January 15th.
If not what?
Why rush?
No, Mariano.
No, because it's called, you know.
No, so if they say they can do it in 2 weeks, I'm in the end right now.
Yeah.
I'm giving you more than 2 weeks.
But if not what? What do you want me to put in the contract?
I don't,
Do you want to penalize the?
I don't want to start to penalize, I tell you why, I tell you why. I'm in the business now, everybody going to one time, and I know when you buy parts now, nobody guarantee you nothing with trucks and all these things, you know? And I did little bit research in the company I'm going to vote. And you guys, after we vote, you can read, the comments there, they're very good comments, you know what I'm saying? And I asked few buildings where I worked. I feel much more comfortable today than I was the first meeting with AP.
But let's focus on what you said. a contract has no bite and there are no consequences, which I've been urging for years in the board. If they don't do it by January 15th, what's the bite? What's the price they pay? And then you got expenses.
I want, I take your advice. I want to be guaranteed the parts being by January 15th.
No, don't say that. Complete the job by January 15th. Like Mariano says, the parts could be here, they'll be sitting there.
Yeah, but it's not, I think we don't need to put them in a crunch. What we need really is the job when they stop the AC to be done like in 2 days. That's what's really.
Nobody
The AC is not working, it's nothing to start.
Enough,
But you need a schedule to know what
No, of
work's done. If not, you're gonna have work sitting there for a year.
for sure, but I
And then
believe
you need to put a
that.
bite. I mean, and they'll accept it. So if they don't get it done by January 15th, they're gonna pay a penalty of 10% a week or something, like $100 a day or something. And that gives them an incentive.
In the market today, like this, I think, my opinion, if I was the service guy, I don't step because
Well, you may not do it, but the bottom line is that they need the job, they want the money, they submitted a proposal, and that's negotiable. So just say, vote when you vote on the company, that some kind of an incentive will be given them to complete the job.
I feel more comfortable by the end of January, we have to be done.
I don't know, I've never done an installation of this, but if they're saying that in the proposal, that's prima facie evidence on its face. That they
Can I add something here?
Yeah.
I think that we should vote to approve error on the clock and then add in to make sure that there's something in the minutes that we're gonna vote to approve error on the clock with the understanding that we ask them to complete the work by January 15th.
I know, Alexander, that's a good suggestion, but you can ask me to jump off a building and that's no guarantee I'm gonna do it. The only thing in contractual law that ensures somebody's gonna comply with the conditions, if they have a penalty. A penalty would be $100 a day or a 5% discount. And if they agree to it, then they know that they have a deadline, albeit unless there's a cataclysmic event, a hurricane in January, which has never happened. Some earthquake, which has never happened. But the only way you get a contract to be abided by or completed by is because they have a stake in it, unless there's an act of God.
Good.
Is this something that we consistently have in the rest of our contracts, like with
No,
curb cuts,
and
that we
no,
have
That's a great question,
penalties?
Alexandra. No, that's a great question. Having lived here for 21 years, I've always advocated that. I'm not telling I told them so, but every contract, we've had the same problem. It was the main pool or capital or roofing or painting. They haven't done that because obviously they're not getting good advice, or if they're getting good advice, they're ignoring it. The present board, except for the incumbents from the past, haven't done that. And I think it's a good idea, but it's negotiable. I mean, let Udi as a manager negotiate with them, say, listen, we want the job done by this date. This is what you tell us in the contract. What are you willing to give up if you don't abide by the contract? Now, I will point out in fairness, yes, it's the holidays, but also there's less work in the holidays. Number two, January is the coolest month of the year in South Florida. That's meteorology. That's not opinion. And so maybe you want to give them January 15th or January 30th. Trust me, I wanted to get done as soon as possible because I've been miserable without the AC.
The job, my opinion, let's do the job have to be finished on the month of January, guaranteed.
I understand, but give them a reasonable date so we can.
I give them all in January.
I know, but give them a reasonable
Well, then
date. Give them a latitude, January 15th to the 30th, and give them a consequence if they don't do it. Either we withhold payment, or they pay, or they discount 1% for every day. they don't do it.
As a commitment to give them the check.
Okay, exactly.
That's the commitment.
A commitment is nothing unless there's a fight.
What is, okay.
You have to put a bite in it, so they have.
I understand.
Maybe got it all right.
They have an incentive to do the work. If you want to scale it from 15 to the 30th, you make 15 not that harsh, you make the 30th a penalization that is harsh. So you've got to they have to be incentivized like a judge is indicating. Otherwise, they're going to drag it out till, to February
Listen,
or whatever.
let me tell you one thing and tell you. If I'm the contractor,
You walk away from the shop.
no, walk away with the job. I find something to extend it, That's why I don't want to do it, you know, the other thing, you know, he's going to tell you this part and this
We
part.
all agree, and if they get a more lucrative job, in the meantime, they'll say, we can't get the parts, we can't get the
I
manpower.
understand,
And then
so,
January runs to February. Let them negotiate an incentive for them to finish the job on time and a penalty if they don't.
this is a real big company, it's around the clock. And
My suggestion is vote on the company and ask for an incentive and a penalty clause and let them negotiate.
the moment I said penalty clause, I scared the walk away, today, in this.
They're not gonna walk away, they want the job, they bid on it, and if they can say they can commit to doing it by January 15th or the 30th, they have an incentive to complete the job, if not, they reach a contract.
Give it to January,
I'm agreeing on January 30th. I think you can, when you do the down payment, you can ask for some language to be put in the
Simply
invoice.
a penalty that they pay 1% a day, whatever you wanna do it, so the longer they take, the more
Some
they're
kind
gonna lose on the
of that
contract.
language, we can ask the lawyers to include that in a schedule that is comfortable for them to comply. And we can do it that way, and when we write that, we can give them the check.
And Mariano's right, because I'll tell you what happens, Mariano, if the penalty is too low, if the penalty is $1 a day, they're gonna get a more lucrative job to say, hey, you know, it's $1 a day, it's nothing. But if it's gonna be 1% a day, they know that if they go over the timeline, 5%, 10%, that's gonna cut into their profit.
No, I agree, but this is a 20,000 job. I'm not sure if they are
Listen, let
going
me
to
tell
be
you
so
something. Would you
big.
wanna lose $2,000?
No,
No, I
absolutely,
wouldn't
not.
either.
Absolutely not.
I mean, the bottom line is, you know, that's what gets people.
no, it's not only the money, it's the building is getting damaged with no evidence, there's no question about
We all agree
it.
on that. The question is how to get. it.
I only pay for it, you know.
So let's,
I have a question for the board. What if the company says we do not give you any guarantees right now, specifically in lieu of COVID and all that stuff? What do you want me to do next?
We don't know the things.
so in that case, they are not complying, wait. In that case, they are not complying with the proposal they are presenting. So possibly they will be able to find some middle ground and something that they believe they can comply with in 30 days. They are offering to do it in
Again, they're
1
waiting.
week.
It takes 1 week to get the parts and 2 days to do the job. So
So I think we should, if we approve that, go and approve the company and then give you some
leverage
space
to work with.
to talk with them and make sure we include that into the.
The reason we're
invoice,
changing the
contract.
movie is because of time, you can tell them
Yeah, the times of
the time,
excellence.
you know, we start in February, March, I don't know when we start, you know, that's the reason really we change it, we don't want to go to the same again, you know?
Woody, my humble suggestion is to find out when they can start the job, hold them to the task, get a date from them, where they can finalize it, and then say, what happens if you don't do it on time?
Yeah.
But
Write it down.
Right.
But, you know, you gotta structure that in a way that, you know, they don't feel like you're,
Yeah.
but if they're giving you that as an incentive to get the contract, then they should be willing to say,
And do it.
I've contracted before with people, and I've said that, but if you can't do it in 4 days, what happens then? And when I retailed my apartment, the company, an Israeli company, by the way, you know what they said to me? You know, we'll give you back $1,000 a week for every week that we're gone.
Ask the vice president what to say.
I'm not gonna ask him, I mean, you all seem to agree
So,
on it, and I'm not on the board.
Any other comment from the board?
Okay.
No, can we vote to approve around the clock? And then, because I really would love to give the people in Tower One some relief, and not to mention, I want to be honorable to people who have attended the board meeting. It's been half an hour and we haven't even been able to vote on one agenda item yet.
You have a motion?
I would like to
I
make
make
a
a
motion to
motion.
approve around the clock.
I second. the
Yes,
motion.
I second it, Regina seconds it.
Okay, she second.
Okay.
Who is in favor?
Alexandra Kazmierski in favor.
You don't have, okay. Who's in favor?
Guillermo Cipher in favor.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yes.
oh my God,
Mariano Mauro in favor. Danny,
I'm in favor.
it's everyone? Yeah.
Yep, motion passed. Okay.
Oh my God.
Motion passed and let's
Let me
move
tell
to
you,
the
my
next one.
friend, to get the respect, I know you're a judge. To get the respect, I want the respect too.
I think everybody's being respectful now.
No, what they did to me, especially this vice president for the last 2 years.
That's not good.
No, I go with it. That's the reason I'm on the board.
Okay,
All right, I have a question.
You guys don't know the background. You don't know the background.
Can I ask a question?
Alex, what are the questions?
My question is for Udi. So Udi, can you please explain the elevator work that needs to be done to our residents?
so we're going to the next point. Approval of upgrade to 3 elevators.
Okay, let's skip that one. We'll come back to it in a minute. The next one, number 7.
We gotta do the jacuzzi.
Just because it's probably gonna require the most.
Okay, so
Jacuzzi
let's,
heater.
okay, let's wait on the approval of the elevator
Miami Pool, because Marvin said, I'm going to ask you a question now.
and approve, and let's move to the point of replacement of jacuzzi heater.
Okay, the jacuzzi
Yes, the
heater,
jacuzzi heater.
okay, the jacuzzi heater is 19 years old, eventually gave up on us. Just for general information, the pool has 2 heaters and the jacuzzi has 1 heater. We obtained
Are them exclusive? I mean, one heater works exclusively for the
Exclusively for the
and the other
jacuzzi?
two to
the other 2 for the pool, however, only one is operating for the pool. The other one is spare in case the other one goes down.
Udi, I really want you to find more about this heater on the
When we
pool.
present the
Yeah,
issue,
I
we
mean-
can ask the questions we want.
Okay? That's it. We have 5 proposals here.
And it's not working now.
Not at all. The jacuzzi is shut down.
Okay, so we have a question?
I have a question.
Go
From
ahead,
the
Tom.
building manager's perspective, what's the benefit of staying with the same company that we work with now with our pool company?
This doesn't
I
have
don't
to.
know.
That has nothing to do with the company that provides services to the pool jacuzzi. Alexandra, this is a piece of equipment that it's 19 years old that basically just gave up.
It's like your water heater if you have a house, basically, the water heater. But this is a heater.
No, but
Okay.
she's asking, is there any advantages of going with
Yeah,
Miami
besides like
Pool
keeping a
against-
good
Oh, I
professional
thought she said
relationship?
keeping the company.
No,
I mean,
she's asking if.
Oh,
there's any
oh,
advantage
oh,
of
oh.
Miami-
I'm sorry,
on-
Alexandra. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It's a big advantage, and I tell you why. They know all our equipment, they know our pool, and if something go wrong, nobody blame each other, you know, when you have the service guy going to tell you, go talk to the other company. The question we did today a little bit research, and we got a better price by 10%, 8% actually after we did the research. But Mariano came regarding the heater. And, I don't have any idea if it's Mariano going to explain.
So there's now, this is the point. The proposals are basically for 2 different brands. One is from RIM and the other one, I don't know which one it is. This JXI. So I do believe RIM is a better company or a better known company. But RIM, RHEM, yeah, exactly. So just choosing the brand for the equipment, I would prefer that one against GX1. But the only problem I have, and this is a problem we had with this company, with Miami Pool. Each time we get them a shop and something happens with the part, then they replace the part on warranty by they charge you, or they want to charge you for replacing the part that is in the warranty. That for me makes no sense. And in this case in particular, they are offering 1 year warranty, while all the others are offering 3 years warranty on the part and 1 year warranty on labor. So that for me makes little sense. Other than that, I am in favor of continuing with Miami Pool.
I have a
Those
question,
are interesting observations that deserve for due diligence.
and that going in the same direction, is there an extended warranty? Because a year, 2 years, 3 years go by rather quickly.
Yes.
So any of these companies can provide an extended warranty. on
No,
equipment.
Mariano, hold on one second, Mariano, the eater with Miami Pool
Mhm.
advisors, they're in another company, they put the same thing or no?
No, it's not. It's because this one is this R266, which is the ring product for 266 Southern BTUs. And the other one is XI 400. So this one is much bigger, so it's 400 Southern
Now,
BTUs.
what this one?
And this is 3 years on heat exchange.
No,
and
what is
compressor.
this one? Is not the same one?
No, this is ring and this is not. So from shell
But
and
here-
boiler, it's not the same product.
So we have three different brands over it?
Two different, I believe.
So which one is similar to Miami? Miami have one.
So Miami and Karch have the same product.
So cars say it's 3 years, parts and labor,
Exactly, yeah,
you let them match.
exactly. So that's my concern.
If the factory give 3 years, why give us money?
I don't know.
That was the point he was bringing up.
No,
Precedent.
that's what I asked, if the other company give 3 years,
Yes.
okay. Udi, the only makes sense to use Miami Pool. And if they have the 3 years from the manufacturer, let them keep it, let them keep the 3 years.
If everybody's okay.
So when you make the vote, you'll vote to use Miami Pool Tech contingent upon providing a 3-year warranty.
If the 3 years warranty come from the manufacturer.
No, I think it makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes no sense to have
Yeah,
1 year.
because if you look, again, if we checking apple to apple, somebody else put it and give us the same thing.
And the two other with the different product, all have 3 years on the part. So we need to have 3
May I make a
years.
suggestion, since Sudi said, continue upon them, give the same warranty, can you get an answer, suspense date of 1 week? Because I don't use that pool, I don't use that jacuzzi, but a lot of people are complaining about not having it accessible. So if they can't tell Rudy that they'll match that warranty, then you need to get together and take action on another company.
We have another one, yes.
Okay, no, I know you do, but I'm saying, can you give them a suspense date? You know what a suspense date is? I'm usually.
No, I understand.
Yeah, a suspense date of 1 week to give an answer. If not, you need to get together and go with another company.
I don't think they're going to be issue. If,
It may not,
No,
but if
if-
it is, but if it is, then you wanna come back and take a remedial measure, because this is the big season where we get a lot of the snowboarders. Again, I told you, it's not from rifle reviews, but you don't want people to see that thing boarded up, for another month.
Other than that, it's not nice to have it like circle back with
That's what I meant.
yellow tape. So, what do you believe it's a reasonable time to get this done?
immediately.
I think.
Okay, you mean.
This is,
Suspense date for
the labor here is nothing, it's like, nothing.
Can I make a suggestion
I'm checking
here?
the ability, Home Depot.
Danny,
Alexandra, go ahead, please.
I just want to clarify some of the wording. I noticed that Danny said a 3-year warranty with the manufacturer. Did you mean the manufacturer? Did you mean jacuzzi?
Manufacturer, he give me 1 year on labor, but including 1 year on the manufacturer. If the manufacturer give 3 years, I want the 3 years.
Okay, so that's the manufacturer standard is 3 years.
I don't know, but we're looking at the other proposal. I don't know, we can search it online and see what it is,
So why don't you do what he suggested, make a motion to get that company approved, contingent upon them accepting, give them 1 week to provide an answer to Rudy, if they don't, have another meeting on the next company.
Alexandra, you are the one in English. Can you please do the motion as?
I would like to make a
Yeah.
motion to vote for the pool tech company contingent on the fact that we would like a 3-year manufacturer warranty, and we would like to ask for them to provide us a answer within 7 business days.
You need
I second it.
Who is in favor?
I am.
I am in favor.
Well, thank God, good boy.
Okay. In favor?
I'm in favor, the vice president say I'm in favor.
Regina, are you in favor?
Yes.
Yes, I'm in favor. Thank
Guys
you.
abusing his
Thank
position.
you.
Okay,
So this
the next item is number 8. It's actually a ratification of a vote that was already done by emails when we had the election lawsuit finalized. This is with reference to the approval of the selection of an association attorney to conduct the upcoming elections. The question was between association attorney or an outside election monitor, similar to the one that we used for Delvista road maintenance last year. Well, actually this year, but this past year. And the board has voted in favor of going with the association attorney.
Who voted against the association attorney?
I don't have that here with me.
I tell you, Jeremy voted against.
So why didn't you ask a question?
So
That's what you like to know.
Well, I want to know, is this contingent upon some settlement on the election?
No, so the servant, this was not a stipulated condition in the settlement. And this is why we waited until it was
My
finalized.
next question, has there been a settlement reached?
Yes,
Okay, you know I requested through you, I want to know what settlement has been reached.
you can request that officially.
I believe when I sent you the last email, I requested to know the status, and status means if there's been a settlement or if it's going to trial. So I want a copy of that settlement to clarify that. If you want to send you another email, but I want it within the statutory period. I think in my email that I sent to you, I said, I want to know the status of the lawsuits against the association. I don't know if you forward that to the attorneys or it's just sitting on the shelf. I trust that you sent it to the attorneys. But if there's a settlement, I want a copy of that settlement as a member of the association.
Of course, of course. I'll send it to you tomorrow.
So it sounds like you have an issue right now that just requires a vote on the record.
Correct.
Is there a motion?
Okay, so to ratify what we approved on getting Secret Rivera to monitor the elections, I would like to make the motion to ratify what we said by email, which is going to Secret Rivera again.
I second it.
Who is in favor?
Alexandra Kazmierski.
Yeah, Regina Goldstein.
Danny?
Guillermo, fine.
What, you in favor or you're not in favor?
Outside lawyer, our lawyer, our own
All right,
lawyer.
so you change your mind. Good boy.
I am in favor.
I'm in favor too.
I just have one comment on
Swim
that.
like a fish.
It's that
Siegfried.
when we did the election last year,
No,
a big part.
I don't accept it. You don't understand here. I give you guys and stop guys to tell me what to do. I give respect to who give me respect. These guys want to sue me. For what?
No, so what?
So what? No, the vice president want to sue me, and you know why he want to sue me? I tell you why he want to sue me. Because I asked for record. And anytime for the last year when I asked a question, the guy laughed at my face.
Okay, you have.
All right, can I just make can we keep our personal business out of the meeting? and
That's for another
continue
meeting,
the
another
agenda?
meeting, another time. You wanted to sue me,
But you don't understand.
but I do understand.
You don't understand, my friend. You don't understand, and I tell you what. It was 10 meetings over in this board association. The guy show when it's convenience for him. The guy making a joke of this. You guys don't see the email what we getting.
I know more than.
Danny, we do understand, we do understand.
You guys have to know, you want it to run smooth, there have to be a change over it. Because I'm not going to be here by myself.
We don't disagree with you, but the point is, this is not a time or place to settle scores.
Why? Who jumped on him when he did it to me?
We got you.
Who jumped on them for one of these times when he did it to me?
Me.
Beside you, who jumped?
I've been jumping on them.
No problem, show me one more member, show me the secretary.
This is not the moment to settle scores. We'll settle.
But it's only that the timing's here.
No.
Yes,
Now's the time to vote.
Danny, we got you. This is, yeah.
these guys abusing this position.
Okay, moving on.
You're right.
We got you. We understand.
So, approval of the next point, it's approval of the upgrades to the 3 elevators. Please summarize what we need to do.
Back in 2014, Delvista went through a modernization project to all 6 elevators. The parts that were replaced back at the time were the machines and the rope gropers. However,
I don't know if you guys with me or if not with me.
Fine. Okay.
however, 3 years later, in 2017, we've learned that 2 other parts in each elevator will need an immediate upgrade. One is the controller drive and the other is the governor. They went ahead and decided to replace them only with the elevators that required it at the time, which left 3 elevators still needing one or both. That time has come now. We had TK Elevators inspecting the elevators. We also had the annual safety inspection completed today for all 6 elevators, actually all 7 elevators. And the conclusion is that we are in need of replacing the governor in elevator number 5 in Tower 2, the governor in elevator number 6 in Tower 2, as well as the controller driver in elevator number 6 in Tower 2, which is the service elevator. And we need to replace the controller drive in service elevator in Tower 1. The cost to replace them, which includes work, labor, parts, is $119,000. That in addition, no, that's not in addition to, no, that's it. That's it about that.
Is this the same company that has been servicing our elevators?
It is.
I humbly ask a request and suggest to the board, get other quotes from China. That company is terrible.
I will say something and respect, and will not say anything else anymore. I've been to other properties, and I've been to properties that had brand new elevators. Ours are not. I've been to companies that had brand new elevators, that had their elevator companies consistently on the property. We went through such an abuse of usage in the past year with so many sales that took place here, contractors that came in here, and I've been living for 21 years. I don't ever remember such traffic with the elevators, the construction on the pool.
We weren't using those elevators. We paid for a separate elevator.
But many of them use the service to go, like they didn't always come from, many times I've seen them.
Well, they weren't supposed to.
Correct.
So we paid for that elevator.
Correct.
Listen, I respect what you're telling me, but I have worked and lived in buildings for 40 years of my life. We have the worst elevators that I've ever been, old or new. Worse than in the courthouse, which was built in 1925, worse than in any building I've ever been in.
Right.
That company sucks. That they told you that they didn't have, at one time they told me 50% was their claim, 80%. No company in America that I'm aware of lost 80% or 50% of its workforce to COVID. Those people take us for granted and they do a terrible job. There hasn't been a week that goes by that there's not a problem. Coming here today, there was a problem with the elevators, I came down the stairs. I don't want to live in a place where I have to go up the stairs unless I'm exercising. I suggest that if a company doesn't, my mechanic's been my mechanic for 35 years. You know why? Because all my cars are old. I don't have a new car. All my cars are at least 17 years old. But when he fixes it, it continues working. I've never had to go and say, hey, there's a problem here. One of my cars has 100,000 miles, the other one has 76,000 miles, the other one has 5,000 miles, one has 7,000 miles. We can't trust a company that continuously fails to fix. You've had the elevator fixed, they come back, and a week later, we have the same problem, and it's intermittent. That company does not match the quality that we deserve or demand in this building. That's my suggestion.
I don't disagree. But I have a question also for you. If you don't know, you can answer that in the next meeting. Our elevators are ThyssenKrupp.
Mhm.
Do you have the possibility, because with a car, you can take it to any other shop. But do we have a real possibility to service them with a different company than ThyssenKrupp?
Of course.
We do.
It's not something that only TK Elevators does.
In most of the hotels I've been into, you usually have a contract with the company that manufacture the elevators. If it is Schneider, if it is ThyssenKrupp, it's not very common to have a different company.
Okay.
Question, what's the lifespan now of these elevators?
We're not gonna need to replace,
I'm not saying, I'm not going there, I just wanna know, we're gonna be doing parts and pieces, ongoing. At this moment, these elevators are what, 20, 30 years old already?
40 years old.
Pardon? 30 years old, okay, so they have a certain lifespan, what's left?
Okay, let me tell you what is my.
It's a good question. I don't believe we have the answer.
Yeah,
for that.
I don't
I think-
understand. Let me tell you what is my.
Before you answer, we don't have an answer for that. I think it's a good question to discuss with the company. Because it's a good call not to put good money in an elevator that I don't know in how many years we will need to replace completely.
My question was a little bit, hold on a second, my question was a little bit further. If you're going into parts and replacements, and they say it's 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, what's the warranty that's left on those elevators?
okay, I'm gonna look at the reserve study that was done, and I can give you an exact answer on that, but let me explain something about those parts. If any of these parts break, it could take up to 2-3 months to fix it. That means no elevator for 2-3 months.
I'm not saying otherwise.
I'm just giving a fact that should be considered
Okay.
with everything that we're discussing right now. These parts are obsolete. That's why they need to be replaced right away. With parts that are in the market, that if there's a problem, they can be replaced right away. If any of these elevators, those 3 elevators, lose any of these parts tomorrow, we don't have that elevator available for 2 to 3 months.
I'm not going there, Udi, I'm going to the fact that what Judge Milan is indicating.
Good.
That basically, we need some kind of a guarantee. If they fix it today, it should never break down tomorrow.
You're not gonna get that guarantee.
You have a service.
You're never gonna get that guarantee. That's what you have the service for.
That's what I have a
I'm
service.
ignorant about this, but I know one thing, an elevator is made of certain components. Does anybody here know the longest mileage of an automobile that was made that was obsolete? 3 million miles. You know why? Because the owner replaced all the parts that were broken. Even though the automobile wasn't made for 40 years, the parts were available. With all due respect, you know, the US Army, the Israeli Army has M60 tanks that they've used. As long as you maintain and replace machinery, like the B-52, that's something I know a little bit about. The oldest planes in the American arsenal are B-52s and C-130s, which Israel uses, not the B-52. As long as you replace the parts. I'm just telling you this because I find it hard when somebody's telling me, well, who may not be able to get the parts. I say that's nonsense. This elevator model was universally used. There's a gray market, even if there is not a primary market. At the end of the day, I don't think they can give you a guarantee like that. They can give you a guarantee or warranty on labor that the parts were correctly installed. But I don't buy that. The elevators at the courthouse, again, I don't work at that courthouse, but 1925. I've never been in that courthouse when the elevators weren't properly working. So my humble suggestion is, once you get kicked down, go for an alternative solution. Find a company. What was the company you mentioned? The
Schneider.
no, the other one.
Otis.
I was in Barcelona 3 years ago, and they make elevators all around the world. They're custom made, and I don't think there's a better company. I think we should look for an alternative instead of spending the money on a company that's not proven to be reliable, either in service or maintenance.
Who is this elevator made by? I think it's Westinghouse, no? It's not ThyssenKrupp or,
I don't know.
I think.
Do we, another question on that, do we have a record on when the elevator goes down and when,
Mhm.
how long they
Yep.
take to?
Yeah, I can pull up reports on this. whenever needed.
I think it's a
Okay,
good
my
talking point.
concern about the elevator, I tell you. And one thing, I think we should go forward. This repair again, that's what I understood, because the code is going to be changed in 2023, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
And I know in building one, the sickest elevator wheel right now is the service elevator. I'll go ahead and fix today, that's me, fix today the service elevator. Because if this elevator, and if they say what is true, we're going to convert regular elevator to a service elevator, so we end up with nothing. That's my opinion. The other thing, they spent so much money in the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Everything starts with our president and finish with the president. That's the only one who knows everything.
Keep on track, Danny, you keep going. We'll explain what you're giving us a good,
Okay,
Yeah.
and we did a renovation, capital. This is insane, nobody touched the elevator, our elevator looked like crap. Me and Rudy working for the last 6 weeks to renovate. Some guy sitting on the board, this is to be the first thing we're going to do, we're going to renovate the cabin. So we're talking here $120,000, and I'm taking all what you're concerned, what you're concerned. And I need at least $90,000 to $100,000 to do it. If we don't do this, I'm not fixing nothing. Nothing.
Well, we're talking about things cosmetics, which I agree with you, the elevators are destroyed.
Yeah.
Because even though when people move, they're supposed to have a security guard there, who apparently does nothing, because I can show you the damage. We've had a mirror in Tower 2 destroyed, nobody was held responsible, they're in abysmal shape. That's cosmetic, I think all of us agree.
It's more than cosmetic, because everything is mechanical.
Listen, one is mechanical, and one is cosmetic, we don't disagree with you. But the
Okay.
question is here, do we have a reliable company to do service and maintenance? I submit that the record shows that this company is not reliable. Why not go to another company, one of the better companies, and say, or maybe the manufacturer, and they're still in business.
According to what I hear, that this is absolute, so I don't know. But the reason we're fixing this, the chance we taking, and I'm convinced, is the service elevator in building one.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying, you may be right, and Louis may be right, the question is, why don't we go to another company, reliable, not a fly-by-night, not a company connected to anybody in the building or the association, and say, look at the elevators, what do you find wrong? And give us a proposal to repair them or bring them up to a decent
No.
shape.
I went today, and I'm informing you for phone. And I read the new code. We have another $100,000 minimum to this elevator. This elevator is not going to meet the code. What I have to do.
So therefore, based on what you're saying,
Well,
what
I
you're proposing,
This elevator,
why didn't the board propose a motion to have the manager do some exploration on other options and get back, because that would make sense based on what you're saying with the compliance issue in a few years and based on the traffic street that we have, looking for better options.
I want,
and another thing, where is the money coming? I don't know, it is the treasure, I mean, you're talking right now, I'm telling you right now, the next year, if we're doing the elevator, $300,000.
No, we need to know if it's coming from reserves or special asset.
I don't know what is
No,
When
no,
you're
no.
talking that, it sounds like if these elevators don't build or match the code and they're not grandfathered in, then why are we spending $119,000 in replacement parts?
That's what he
No,
said.
I'm talking about
He's talking about the service elevator here. It goes up to the second floor.
So why are we spending money to fix it?
You have,
No, we are not spending the.
Oh,
we don't spend.
excuse me, can I talk?
Yeah,
please?
talk.
There's too much stuff going on and people just miss the message sometimes. This elevator in the lobby, which serves only the 2 floors,
Okay.
okay, has to be available by code, okay, for people who cannot walk upstairs. That elevator by 2023 is not going to be in compliance with the new codes for elevators. So that elevator, that entire elevator has to be replaced. And the cost of that elevator is going to be around $90,000.
Okay, but we were talking about these elevators in the towers.
No, because, that's why I said, let me talk, because everybody's talking about throwing everything in there.
That's a different issue.
Okay, so that's that elevator in the lobby, okay? That's the end of that conversation. The elevators that we have, the reason that these parts need to be replaced is, again, because they become, according to the company, obsolete. It doesn't mean that they cannot be, we can get them, but it's going to be a lot harder. And it's going to take a lot longer because maybe it's parts that actually being manufactured specifically for you, for that building, for that elevator. And that means that if any of them will go out, doesn't mean that they will. We can probably ride it for 2 years and not need to replace them. But if any of them breaks, that elevator is out of service for several months.
But what's the downside to getting another company to come and give us an estimate?
There isn't, but here's what I'm hoping to get from the residents and with your blessing on. In the past, and I want to know what happened with the elevator today, because if I don't know, but if I don't know, no, I just need to know what didn't work, so I know what to report. Here's what I found out when I came here. When I started working here, the elevator company was called in here after hours. We got billed. Mariano can attest to this. He signed all these checks on left and right. I made it mandatory. You don't call the service elevator if one elevator is down after 5 o'clock in the evening. We can work with 2 elevators from 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. until the morning. Unless another elevator is down, then we will get somebody in here since the service is provided 24 hours a day. Another thing that I found out, they're making quick fixes to things instead of actually replacing parts. Another thing I found out, they don't have parts waiting for us whenever those parts go often. So I changed all of that. Now it takes a lot faster to actually get an elevator fixed as opposed to, I remember days and days when I first started. And so now they stocked up on parts, so we at least have the parts ready immediately. Sometimes it's identifying the problem of what exactly happened. In the past, they used to report to them, elevator is stuck on the 11th floor, doors won't open. What happened? Nobody knows what happened. But sometimes I found out that our maintenance crew goes in there to open the door on their own. I told them to stop doing that because that can only make it worse. And the technician will not be able, the technician basically goes to the computer. And the computer will give him the whole history of what happened. And he can actually get or at least to the area of the problem. Then he'll ride the elevator and he will himself test certain things in order to find out what the problem. I don't recall in the last month any issues in Tower 1, and that's because I insist. And I have parts in my office. They show me what they're replacing. They show me what they put in. So I would like a chance with TK elevators for at least a couple more months, okay, to see how it goes, to monitor it, to see how it goes. We did not have any breakdowns in Tower 2 since elevator number 4 was out. And they, again, over there, they replaced a roller and I forgot the other part. I have everything in my office.
So, you know, a mechanic is only as good as a skill. You can go to a mechanic and says you need a new carburetor. If you have a 1960s car like I do, or he can tell you need this part replaced. I think these people have been milking us. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's wrong in an elevator. You really don't. I mean, I've seen enough litigation having to do with mechanics that they may very well be telling us that because they keep coming out and they keep billing us for doing work that should have been replaced to begin with.
They're not.
Can
Are you a tech?
No, they're not billing us. No, they're not billing us. It's all under the contract. They're not,
Listen, I'm not gonna discuss.
we did not get billed for any of the repairs that they made.
Look,
We have a horrible trajectory. I called you one time because the elevator wasn't working. You said, I got on the elevator's going up and down. 3 days later, a lady called you, the elevator's stuck again.
Correct.
And that time it wouldn't move. There's something they're doing wrong. I don't care how old a piece of machinery, if it's well serviced, if you correctly diagnose the problem, you can drive a 70, 80-year-old machine all the time. It's all a matter of service and maintenance. And I don't think they've been doing a good job. I mean, I don't need to get bit twice to know that a bite hurts. And that's what they've been doing. That's my humble opinion. Now, if the board wants to throw good money after bad, I guess they're entitled to it, but I want the record to reflect. And you know, I have a good trajectory here, not to top my own horn, but since I was on the board, every meeting I've come, the pool, and I don't want to debate this, but the pool's been a disaster. My prediction is 6 years later, we still don't have a pool. The disaster in the main pool, predicted that correctly. Capital, I argued in this very room not to sign that contract, is a disaster. And we still don't even know if we have a settlement, at least I don't know. Over and over again, the same mistakes are done. You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a different result. I say when somebody doesn't provide services, fire them. I won't say anything else.
I don't disagree on that one. I think nobody can, we are like trapped in this company and I would like to have options. My question to you, it's a feasible situation today with the pieces we need to change that today. To wait and survey some other companies or
I already
maybe this
contacted
is-
Otis.
or this is something that is
They can
going
do
to
it.
take some time.
They can do it. Otis can do it. I already contacted them.
For the same shop.
Mhm.
And wouldn't be a good idea to have it here, have a conversation before going up?
Well,
Because my problem here is I don't have anything to compare with, no? But I have themselves to compare with. So if I check the prices from 2017 and I apply inflation from 5 years, even a high inflation, and I see what we paid in 2020, it's still 20,000 more than the calculation I made. And this situation with this company is like, we don't have anything to compare with. It's them or them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
However, Otis will not be able to do the job unless they're contracted here.
So we need to have a contract,
That's correct.
and we don't know when the contract with ThyssenKrupp expires.
I can check it out.
So what about a humble recommendation based on your request? Make a motion to have the manager explore contracting Otis, making the same repairs, have apples to apples comparison, and have a meeting in a month to decide whether to go with this company or go with Otis.
I would agree
Can
with
I
that.
add something here?
Yep.
I think that Mr. Milian had a good point. My huge takeaway from this was it's crazy to expect residents to walk down the stairs. So I think that we should go ahead and approve the work on the elevators because that's just not right to have someone walking down the stairs when they're not able to. So I think that we should work on getting the maintenance done that we need to get done, and then also to start to contract out different elevator companies. Would that be possible?
I don't disagree, but it's $120,000 that they are asking for doing that. So I think your analysis is good, and I would agree with that if we were talking about $30,000. It is 120. So having another look in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, I don't think would hurt. It's not, unless you are telling me the contrary, it's not that if we don't do this, our elevators are not going to work or expected not to work in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
I did not say that.
No, unless you tell me that.
No, on the contrary, he said they could go for 2 years without a problem.
So for me, it's a feasible solution. So I would like to make the motion to table this and ask the manager to survey some other companies and have more information before we make the decision. Do I have a second?
motion.
Who is in favor?
Vice President, what you say?
So
Well,
there
I
is
do
a-
think that the
there is a
repair
vote.
has to be made.
The repair.
I know it's a lot of money and we can ask for some other quotes, but still, job has to be done. I don't know.
The repair, let me explain you, the repair not have to be made, the repair is suggest to be done to meet the code in 2023.
So we can spare 3 weeks, Guillermo,
Yeah.
in doing some more analysis. It's not this to be postponed 3 months.
With all this, I don't think you understand what the motion was.
Not yet. There's a motion and we are voting it. Let me repeat the motion. The motion is to table this decision and task the manager with making some further research with other companies. So we make a more educated decision in 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Okay,
And there is it's second, so we are just voting.
okay. If that's the way you think and you think we should do that, I'll agree on that. If nothing is going to happen in 3 weeks,
So you're in favor?
let's go ahead.
Okay,
So you in favor or no?
Yes, I'm in favor.
okay. You are?
Alexandra, in favor?
No, she
Yes,
made
I'm
the
in favor.
motion.
Motion,
Yes.
so.
So motion is like, okay.
Regina,
I made a motion. The second,
And she seconded.
Right.
Regina,
so it's taking like you're voting positive.
Regina.
Okay, Regina is not there, you?
I'm in favor.
Okay, I'm in favor too, so this is passed.
Hello, I'm
It
here.
is stable.
Hello.
Okay.
Regina, do you
Yes,
approve
Alex,
or
I guess we'll have to, well, just for a short period of time, because how can we live without elevators? It's ridiculous.
That's not the issue. Are you in favor of the motion that Mariano made to table it?
Yeah, she just said she
Yes,
approved.
Okay, good.
Okay, Guillermo, can you please make
I
a,
have to say something. This is not Russia.
Okay, this concludes all business on the agenda.
Yeah, all
Please
business
make the
done. I
motion
make a
for
motion
adjournment of
to
meeting.
adjourn. I second the motion.
what time is it?
I second it.
7:46 PM.
7:46.
7:46, all
There's no more
business.
motion.
All in favor of adjourning?
I'm in
I,
favor, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Have
I
a
want to wish everybody a nice
Thank
holiday,
you.
happy New Year's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of you.